Hello and welcome back to our series on the Heralds of the Assassin's Creed series. Fortunately, there are heralds in Constantinople, and here's our first one.
With a view towards conserving the peace of Constantinople, our mighty Sultan asks all units of Prince Selim's personal guard and those with loyalties to the former governor of Trabzon to quit the serene city with all haste.
Thank you, Herald. We enter the city of Constantinople in the midst of a bit of a succession issue. Sultan Bayezid II and his two sons have had, let's just call them difficulties in agreeing on an eventual transition plan, and it can be felt within the city. Princes Selim and Ahmed have been hostile to one another for the past few years, with historians labeling this time period as the Ottoman Civil War, 1509 to 1512. I won't get into this fascinating dispute because we'll be living it in the playthrough series, but it's a wild time. This announcement helps define where everyone is at, in that Sultan Bayezid would prefer Prince Selim's personal guard to leave the city for the time being, implying his favoritism with Ahmed.
Baklava, made with only the finest ingredients and, of course, love. Come to Gül's, just off Küçük Ayasofya Cami, to taste what experienced artisanship and love can create. Your mouth won't regret it.
Okay, quickly shifting gears here, we have an advertisement for the local layered pastry dessert. Interestingly, the modern version of this food item is commonly traced back to this time period in this very city.
Our glorious Sultan wishes to invite all citizens to a reading of Prince Ahmed's poetry. It is to be held before the port, if recent troubles have quieted enough and do not divert the sublime attention.
Poetry night with the Sultan's oldest son, Ahmed. While this seems like a very odd time to be having an event like this, perhaps it's part of the leadership's attempts to cool the boiling city. Either way, I'll be going.
The Earthquake Reconstruction Authority reminds all citizens and visitors to our great city to walk with an eye open for crumbling architecture. Let them also state that the flattening of the ambassador from Sweden was most unfortunate and deeply regretted.
In 1509, an earthquake rocked the city at around 10 p.m. on September 10th. It is estimated to have had a magnitude of 7.2 on the surface wave magnitude scale. What followed was allegedly a tsunami and 45 days of aftershocks, and estimates range between 1,000 and 13,000 died. Over 100 mosques were completely destroyed, over 1,000 homes collapsed, 49 towers along the city's walls were damaged. Oddly enough, the Sultan's bedroom collapsed, and he was only saved because he had left them just a few hours before. Thousands of stonemasons and carpenters were brought into the city to reconstruct it, and with us entering Constantinople in 1511, a lot of those repairs have been meted out, but apparently not all, as the death toll goes up by one with this poor ambassador.
Good people of Istanbul, your wise Sultan Bayezid realizes the recent turbulence has caused some alarm, but assures you that all is well, that calm is needed now, and that the order and serenity of his beloved city is top priority.
Jumping back into calming the city, the Sultan just wants everyone to relax. Not much else to say here, except maybe it's hard to relax with a succession issue and ambassadors getting absolutely splattered by falling debris.
Magnificent Bayezid and wise Prince Ahmed have devised a new competition for all the city boundaries. Build the big gun! A commission for several new guns will go to the foundry, able to produce the largest cannon.
And here it is, the dynamic duo have decided to hit two pain points of theirs, citizen unrest and a potential invasion and open conflict. This competition distracts from the ongoing succession issue between Ahmed and Selim by giving the city something to focus on. It will also give the city's rulers large cannons and help them find the best foundry for creating new weapons, which I guess you would call a win-win-win. Also interesting to point out, and something that we will do an entire video on, the fall of Constantinople, but part of what helped tip the scales in the Ottomans' favor were enormous cannons that helped collapse part of the city's walls.
The Venetian envoy will host a fireworks festival in Galata next month, in honor of the wonderful relations between our two peoples. He apologizes profusely for having cancelled the one last month when we were briefly at war.
Here we go. There's almost always one of these messages in the Herald scripts. As you may know from our previous heralds, Venice and the Ottomans have had a tumultuous relationship for years. These powers are the dominant forces in the Eastern Mediterranean and have clashed between 1415 and 1419, 1463 to 1479, and most recently from 1499 to 1503. While I can't find a conflict in this year, 1511, you get the point. What wonderful relations these two peoples have had, and let us have a firework display to celebrate. And that will do it for our first Herald of Assassin's Creed Revelations. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content.